Every fighting game player has, at some point, chosen a character that just doesn't flow very well with the rest of the roster. Not all characters are created equal, and even the most balanced games will have their low-tier options. In today's DashFight video, we'll explore 4 characters that unfortunately drew the short end of the stick, becoming notorious for their lackluster gameplay. Sean is a special kind of tragedy. Introduced in Street Fighter III Second Impact, he was a fresh new take on the classic Shoto archetype. He was meant to be the eager young disciple of Ken. However, once Third Strike rolled around, Capcom gutted him, leaving behind a character that plays like someone's training dummy who was accidentally added to the roster. Sean does not have a good way to get near an opponent. Lackluster projectiles and easily punishable moves made him feel sluggish. His anti-air uppercut also left a lot to be desired, and ultimately every tool he has is just a worse version of something Ken, Ryu, or Akuma already do better. And then there's his combo potential, or lack thereof. His normals don't link well into each other, and his confirms feel clunky. Even if you do manage to land a hit, his damage output is still really bad. However, these nerfs were not without a reason. Capcom wanted to make Sean an introductory character, to allow experienced players to play with, well, less experienced ones, in what is effectively a handicapped match. However, it's hard to argue that sacrificing a whole spot on the roster for this role was worth it. Sheeva is often regarded as one of the weakest characters in Mortal Kombat 3, primarily because of her many limitations. While she does have 3 special moves, they tend to lack both speed and utility. One of her strengths is a powerful mid-screen auto combo that can deliver up to 51% damage. However, her large hitbox makes her particularly vulnerable to attacks, and her block stun animations leave her open to aggressive plays from opponents. Although her throw can set up guaranteed uppercuts or teleport stomps, these opportunities are inconsistent due to her slow speed and limited mix-ups. Defensively, Sheeva faces challenges with cross-ups and only has a few reliable defensive tools. While her basic moves are functional, they are quite unremarkable. Her signature teleport is risky and it can be highly punishable and easy to read, while her ground stomp is easily avoided. Ultimately, Sheeva's playstyle hinges on careful, fundamental gameplay rather than outright aggression, which one would expect from a rushdown character. However, her lack of speed, solid mix-ups, and effective containment tools contribute to her status as one of the weakest characters in not just MK3, but likely this series as a whole. Ganryu is a sumo wrestler who, like many other short-limb brawlers, faces significant challenges. Unlike other heavyweights, he doesn't possess that one game-breaking move or overwhelming gimmick that strikes fear into his opponents. His primary struggle lies in his range. Ganryu's stubby limbs create a nightmare scenario during neutral. He often finds himself outmatched against characters with superior pokes and keep-out tools. Ganryu does have some good moves in close combat, leveraging his safe moves and strong mid options to pressure opponents. And some key strategies include using his down forward 3, his down forward 2 launcher and its extensions to catch opponents, and the option to end combos early with a spike into stance mix-up. Now let's discuss his movement, which in Tekken often means sidestepping and precise spacing. Yet Ganryu feels like he's stuck in the mud. His dashes are sluggish, his sidesteps lack effectiveness, and overall his mobility leaves a lot to be desired. In a game where movement is vital, Ganryu faces an uphill battle just to hold his ground. Even when the character came over to Tekken 7 with a new lease on life by way of buffs, he still faced many challenges to break through the lower tiers, and never quite managed to do so. Little Mac in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate exemplifies extremes. On the ground, he's a speed demon with incredible power, however, the moment he leaves the stage, it's game over. His presence in the air is virtually non-existent, his jumps are weak, his air attacks are nearly worthless, and his recovery is abysmal. If a player knows how to edgeguard, they can completely shut him down. Given that Smash revolves around knocking opponents off the stage, that's a major flaw. Mac's heavy reliance on ground combat wouldn't be as much of an issue if he had better defensive tools. Unfortunately, he doesn't. His out of shield options are weak, and once he gets juggled, it quickly becomes a nightmare. He's a character that appears strong but collapses under pressure, making him one of the most frustrating low-tier picks. He is not the only low tier in the game, of course, as Ganondorf always keeps him company, but unlike the giant Ganondorf, losing to a mech player is far more humiliating. Every fighting game has its weak picks, but some characters take it to another level. These are just 4 of the most notorious ones, but you all surely have your own short list of lackluster picks. So let us know which characters you will avoid like the plague in the comments below.